Hey guys, welcome back to the Cool Classic Cage Show. And man, I've been observing these ponies in the wild that is Twitter. Because, well, they're an interesting sort. They're different from the average animal being the X-Bot that just accepts that everything's okay. They have, thoroughly rejected the PlayStation showcase that we saw. And mind you, I was very not happy, not excited about that showcase. There was a lot of things I was hoping to see that we didn't get, particularly things such as the announcement for what is likely to happen at some point, but being the Final Fantasy 16 demo that we're hoping to get soon. Some things that we also didn't get, such as Stellar Blade, and longer that stays dormant, the more concerned I become that PlayStation got their grubby, prudish mitts on it. And because PlayStation, they're all about that censorship. So yeah, I'm concerned for Stellar Blade personally. I'm hoping that my concern is ill-placed and that the game is fine, but we haven't really seen much of it. I was hoping to see factions, but now it's been revealed that that game is essentially in development hell. No Silent Hill 2 remake, no Silent Hill in general, because they have a bunch of projects in development. The big thing going into the PlayStation showcase was, well, Konami and PlayStation got a huge deal together, and that was supposed to bring forth exclusives from Silent Hill, Castlevania, and Metal Gear Solid 3 specifically. And yeah, that seems to be like nonsense now. Us PC gamers, we were hoping to get a Ghost of Tsushima port announcement or a Ratchet and Clank Rift Apart port announcement. It's been a while for these games. Obviously, they should be on PC, but it seems as though PlayStation can't really handle the PC space on a consistent basis. So we gotta eat that L. But I've been observing these ponies in the wild, and they have denounced the PlayStation showcase, but they have suddenly come up with a bunch of other things to try and cope with what they saw, the lack of what they've seen. And there's a bunch of new rumors out and about. And of course, we should believe all of them because, PlayStation insiders are always correct, right? But the big one here really is that PlayStation is acquiring CD Projekt Red. Because apparently CD Projekt Red is that bad off. Look, let's be real now. CD Projekt Red, while Cyberpunk 2077 had destroyed a lot of the goodwill they had with their community, the game still sold insanely well. And they have a lot of projects in the works. And they've had a successful anime. The Witcher Netflix series is still a thing. Let's not act like they're that not well off that they're gonna sell. All right, let's be real now. There's nothing to make us believe this. And the big one that has me like, oh, you're pushing this is apparently Days Gone 2 has started development on PS5. And what have I been told by ponies? I'm someone that I love Days Gone. I thought it was an awesome game. There was a few things that if done better, I think it could have been a great game. But I saw the potential in Days Gone, and if a Days Gone 2 were to have happened and they would have taken, people's feedback from the first one and really cultivated a second game, I feel like that second game could have been something absolutely amazing, something that would have been maybe one of my all-time favorite games. Who knows? But I really felt as though Days Gone was a great first outing for Sony Bend, who had been working on like Vita games and stuff, and for them to have come out with a console game to that caliber, for it being as fun as it was, I was excited to see a sequel that we are never getting, more than likely. And I've been told by Sony ponies for the longest that game was actually not that good, and it's like, it's no big deal that Sony Bend is not making a sequel. That's what I've been told by the ponies for a long time. And that we should be more interested in The Last of Us Part 2, even though that game shits on your face. And stuff like that. Returnal. We should be hyping up Returnal, a fucking a $70 indie game, okay, to that level. So yeah, that's what I've been told for the longest time. But apparently now Days Gone 2 is rumored to be in development. Man, let's gargle that Days Gone. Oh man, it's like I'm the one that should be excited. I know this is probably likely BS, but I'm the one that should be excited. Not you fanboys that were saying that it was trash to begin with. Okay, but I'm not excited because I'm pretty sure it's nonsense. And here it's just this dude's just like, if you haven't played this game, play this game. And he posts a picture of Days Gone, and my response to that is preferably play Days Gone on PC, the superior version, because that's what it is. On PC, that game is amazing, far better than even the PS5 version of Days Gone. So if you want to check out Days Gone and have your own personal opinion on it, do yourself a favor and play it on PC, the superior version of Days Gone, like all the other PlayStation games that have come to PC. But the leaker that apparently leaked out that CD Projekt Red is getting bought up by Sony and Days Gone 2 is in development. Apparently they're a Destiny leaker that has had some, they've gotten some things right in the past, and they're saying that this is the case. And it's like, it's crazy how you got these two totally different bits of information, being Days Gone 2 and CD Projekt Red acquisition. I have a hard time believing this, but hey, the ponies are gonna run with it because they need copium. They're on copium. They need to just come to the, this it isn't what it seems. Sony's actually doing better than what is perceived. But yeah, guys, it's bad. It's bad out here. And the other rumor is that there's actually a second PlayStation showcase. Yeah, because, we can't accept that maybe PlayStation just ain't doing too hot. Maybe, just maybe. I mean, like, honestly, that was an Xbox showcase that PlayStation gave us. But ponies can't accept that, well, Jim Ryan is trash. Well, there has to be some other excuse for this, right? Like, I've been saying for the longest that Sean Layden was far better of a leader at PlayStation because he understood. It's about the games. And Sean Layden is about everything else. I think this showcase shows that. Barely any first party besides Spider-Man, and Spider-Man 2 looks pretty damn good. I would like to see more, particularly revolving around the boss battles and just like what's the busy work? Is it going to be fun? How are you going to reinvigorate this formula that's already had 2 outings? That's what I'm interested in seeing. But so far, that first showcase of gameplay looked decent. But where's the rest of Sony first party? Something that, console peasants on the pony side constantly push like the narrative of, man, like they're the goats, man. They're the greatest in the industry. Well, where are they? Because it's about to be June. We're on the very cusp of June now. And we've had, 7 months, no first party drops from PlayStation. This is year 3. This is supposed to be the cream of the crop for the generation. Year 2, year 3 is typically the cream of the crop for a console generation. And PlayStation for 7 months has been a no-show. So that's disappointing, but we have the rumors of another showcase. And it's apparently Colin Moriarty says he's heard that a second showcase is happening later. And Tom Henderson here says, to be clear, I haven't heard anything about a second showcase. I just think it's possible. And just like Tom Henderson confirmed second PlayStation showcase. Obviously, I'm sure he's being satirical. But I mean, the thing is, the ponies will believe it. They don't read. They just run. They run. That's all the ponies do. And MBG, the dude that was super hyped for the showcase, got dressed as Snake for it and looked like a complete ass clown, mind you. Just to be disappointed as hell. Kotaku is now saying PlayStation's holding another showcase. Guys, they're basically saying that all these people are saying, look, there's just a lot of copium going on, and even if there's another showcase, who cares? Where the fuck are the games? Where are the games? Because if Spider-Man 2 just comes out this year, I'm sorry, but that's an unacceptable third year for PS5. Okay? That's just what it is. Let's not beat around the bush, guys. I'm not one to beat around the bush. I want to play good games. And I have an Xbox, I have a PlayStation 5, I have PC. I want to play games across the board that are good. And we don't get that. PlayStation has gotten bad, guys. That whole Q handheld device, first of all, how is that even portable? Like, what case can you put that in? That shit is gonna be ass. And honestly, PSP, the digital only PSP, was a better release than this Q handheld device that's only for streaming across your PS5 to play your PS5 games from a handheld device. That is a joke. Despite the digital PSP coming out in an era that was not really digital focused by any means, the fact that there was you couldn't put your physical copies into that device, despite, the generation being still physical. Like, everyone owned their physical games. That was, that was the thing. Oops. But even that was a better release than this streaming garbage device that they're pushing on us. Okay, like the fact that Sony thought that was a good idea and shouldn't have stayed on the cutting room floor. They're pushing all this hardware, earbuds, and to be honest, I'm kind of interested in earbuds. Anything to get away from the headset, I think would be intriguing to me. But earbuds, freaking handheld streaming device, VR, like. There's going to be a Pro and Slim model coming shortly. There's just so much hardware, but where are the games? They're about to release a Pro model. And what is there to show for a Pro model? We haven't even had a good enough amount of games that utilize the PS5 yet. We barely have any fucking games. And next year, it's rumored that there's going to be a Pro model, and Tom Henderson is pretty on the spot when it comes to this stuff. So I believe him. He was right about the Q handheld device. I thought for certain that was just a thought that PlayStation had and that wasn't going to come to fruition. But Jim Ryan, man, that dude is a clown. He is definitely effing up PlayStation. But they show that garbage handheld at the showcase. And then on top of it all, they show Gran Turismo the film at the showcase. If they aren't disconnected to what gamers want now more than ever, I don't know what. And I was looking, and everyone says that, hey, PS3 generation was the worst for PlayStation. I went and looked up the year 3 games for PS3, and trust me, there was a lot there. There was a lot more there than we have now. Let's just put it that way, because we have a lot of fucking nothing right now. So before you assume that, PS3 is still the worst generation, I think that PS5 is pretty close by. But the biggest copium of them all, the clown that puts out his own L's, Reforged Gaming, he actually posted this video and thought this was it. This is the own. This is to make PlayStation look better. Or at least, well, this is an Xbox showcase, so stop giving PlayStation that smoke, bruh. Let's just listen to Reforged completely make a clown of himself.
If we look at Xbox's showcase from last year, I actually expect a lot of indie games and a lot of third-party showing. But I expect the defense from the Xbox side of things will be, well, a bunch of those games are coming to Game Pass. And I'll be honest with you, that's fair pushback. It's still...
Yes, I will say, because PlayStation showed a lot of trash third-party and indie. Stuff that deserves to not be purchased. Not for nothing, okay? There's a lot of indie games there, third-party games, that's just like, ugh. And they showed gameplay for these games. So you think, oh man, maybe that would grab my incitement as someone that I put gameplay above all else. I was bored. They showed me gameplay and I was bored. It felt like they showed me no gameplay because of how boring it was. Or at least I'm hoping that gameplay wasn't the gameplay. I mean, look at that Splatoon knockoff from Square Enix. They should be fucking ashamed of themselves. And I know some of my homies was kind of like, oh man, this looks kind of fun. I was like, I'm sorry, man. Square, besides, look, I'm scared for Square Enix. Look, I think Final Fantasy 16 is one of the greatest looking games, but that is head by a studio that actually knows what the fuck they're doing. Visionaries that actually know what they're doing. The dude behind the gameplay for Devil May Cry 5 and Yoshi P, like, these dudes actually know what they're doing. But the rest of Square Enix, I am scared for Dragon Quest 12. And mind you, they announced Dragon Quest 12 years ago. They announced Dragon Quest 3 Remake years ago. These are games that I'm extremely excited for. I'm scared. I am absolutely horrified of what's going to happen to these games. Not for nothing, guys, because Square Enix, besides that team that is head of Final Fantasy 16, I don't know what Square Enix is doing, and I don't think they know what they're doing either. But there are a lot of games that were shown at this PlayStation Showcase that should be on a subscription service of some sort, because to actually pay money for these rancid pieces of shit, that's too much to ask, okay? But we shall continue.
Shows that Xbox has a heavy reliance on third-party games and indie titles, but they're able to position them in a way that's interwoven with the value of their ecosystem. That's a win.
Yes, because that's what Xbox chose to do. That's their strategy. PlayStation has made it blatantly obvious that their strategy is different from Xbox. So if you're trying to say, well, Xbox is doing it, so why can't PlayStation? Well, the point is because PlayStation chose not to go down that route. Okay? They have said, like, their first party is super important, and that actually making games that are worth full price purchase is important to them. They haven't showed that here. Besides Spider-Man 2, and even that, I'm still waiting to see. I'm waiting for my concerns with Spider-Man 2 to be subsided. I feel as though Insomniac will do a great job with Spider-Man 2. I just need to see more. But this dude is literally saying, well, Xbox does it, so why are they making a big stink about PlayStation? Because PlayStation chose not to follow Xbox. They chose not to follow the losers. And PlayStation gamers expect more from PlayStation than an Xbox showcase, because that's what PlayStation showed here this past week. They showed an Xbox showcase. That is plain and simple what has transpired here.
For Xbox, and they will likely leverage that. They do now, and I think have for some years done that with third-party games and indies. That's largely been what you've been getting on that platform. So that criticism of Sony Showcase that, you know, the Xbox crowd feels like they can hurl at it, like, look at all those third parties, look at all those indies. Look at your platform and ecosystem for the last 3 years. This is a bit of a pot meet kettle moment.
So you're admitting that PS5 is going down the same route of Xbox. And you're okay with that because you're a fucking pony and you dick ride Sony. That's really what it is. But a lot of PlayStation gamers, they expect better than an Xbox showcase. So for you to run and say, well, the competition is not the competition. They've outed themselves and said themselves that they're not looking to compete with PlayStation. They're in their own category, doing their nonsense with in regards to cloud gaming and all that, and their subscription service model. Why are you comparing that to PlayStation? PlayStation has followed the old school model of gaming, which is we're going to bring the heat that's going to make you want to buy our games. But where are the games? There are no games. There's no excuse. There's no Sony first party present besides Spider-Man 2. Insomniac has been carrying PS5 on its back. Okay? Insomniac has been killing themselves delivering the games. Where is everyone else? And we've been judging Xbox like hell for their poor leadership. We need to put some judgment on PlayStation for their garbage leadership as well. Okay? It's time. Jim Ryan is a fucking problem. And he's definitely reared his head too many times with his fucking dead eye on that PlayStation showcase. He needs to do a lot less of that. Because PlayStation fans, gamers don't like that motherfucker. Now, PlayStation's, shareholders, they may like him, but gamers, we don't like him. He ain't good. Who knows what to expect from this man whenever he rears his head? Because it sure as hell ain't the games. It ain't Sony first party. It ain't the big budget titles. It ain't deserving of a PlayStation showcase, okay? Me and my friends, we watched that showcase and we were so like dead inside. Because we in the past watched PlayStation at E3 showcases or even at the PlayStation experience, except for that last experience, which is trash, which is why that was the last PlayStation experience. But we watched PlayStation experience or E3 showcases in pure excitement because they were going to bring out some crazy thing that looked like it couldn't even run on a PlayStation 4. Like, we were excited for that because PlayStation 4 generation was so much better than PS5, despite the flaws of PS4 generation being no multiplayer. That's the greatest flaw of PS4 generation, but they would bring the heat. And what, as Jim Ryan brought to PS5, $70 games, indie games, third-party trash. Where's the first party? This is a dead year. Year 3, man. It's aggravating.
You're holding Sony to a standard that your platform has fallen woefully beneath.
PlayStation has chosen to be at a higher standard. I can completely admit to that. All right, from the outside looking in, PlayStation has held themselves and said it themselves that they hold themselves to a higher standard than what Xbox has been doing. So for you to aim so low and say, well, your platform is doing the same thing, what is that? What is that argument? Don't you expect better as a fucking pony? You should. But this is why we continue to get mediocrity because, well, the gamers in the community don't want to directly address the situation which is Sony is falling short. But let's put the microscope on Xbox, that's trash. Let's put the microscope on PC gamers because, well, if they concentrate on making PC games, then they don't have enough time for PS5. Let's just call it what it is. PlayStation is caving. They're falling short. They're not holding to the level of standard they themselves have held themselves to, and that we gamers have held them to. It's okay to admit it. You guys have at least acknowledged that showcase was ass. So props to you guys, you ponies in the Twitter wild, that addressed that it was ass. Because Xbox dudes, they would have seen a showcase like that on the Xbox side and said, well, this is business as usual, good. So you guys have gotten that far. But the copium with like, oh man, there's another showcase coming that's going to have the fire. It's going to have the heat. And, oh, well, PlayStation's going to acquire this studio. That is not the answer, man. If there's no games, I don't care what studio Xbox or PlayStation acquires. That doesn't matter to me. If I don't have the games that I want to play, if I don't have the games to be excited for, if I don't have the controller in my hand, I'm playing this awesome-ass game, then what is there? And 7 months, there's been nothing. Maybe even 8 months, I can't remember. Whenever God of War Ragnarok came out, after that, we have seen nothing from PlayStation. It's okay to admit that they're trash, because they are. They're living up to the Xbox standard. That's what PlayStation is doing. But yeah, guys, let me know what you think about it. If you can, like the video, share the video, subscribe to the channel, follow me over on Twitch, Twitter, or Kick if you want to continue the conversation. Consider becoming a channel member if you like instant access to my Discord server. And guys, with all being said, I'm out. Peace.